Recently, it was the NFL draft, a time where student athletes have the opportunity to be rewarded for their hard work and dedication. For some, a disappointment when they're not selected, and for some, even worse. For the student athletes that decide to enter the draft before they graduate, due to the NCAA return policy, are not able to return to college to get a degree, so they're left in the real world with no money and no degree. In a culture that loves pro sports, it's easy to forget the lost players of college athletics. For some, it's the most important thing in their life, and they risk it all just to get a degree, but some end up with no compensation. My name is Carl, this is Nick, and this is Eric, and although we're not student athletes, we all played sports in high school and know the physical toll it can take, but also the toll it can take mentally and on your education. And today we're here to talk about why student athletes should be paid.
Thank you, Carl. There's been a debate about if college athletes should be paid by the NCAA. And they get paid, tuition, the best ones do. And, college tuition isn't enough for the people that make the millions. Athletes should be paid by the NCAA and their colleges. Many people who argue about if the NCAA should pay, they talk about the problems with each side of the argument, they talk about the causes, they talk about the solutions that they would give. Well, we hope to persuade you on our solutions, and hopefully the NCAA hears them too. Some of the problems, the NCAA makes millions every year. It's an impressive business plan for when you don't pay your employees that make you the money. It's kind of an obvious problem. NCAA's contract with the CBS, as the first group talked about, is $11 billion for 13 months of work. That's probably, it's like $850 million a month for 13 months of work that the players do, and they don't get any of the money from that tournament at all. Also, NCAA coaches make millions of dollars every year. Nick Saban makes right around $9, and so does Coach K, according to David Tomar. They have private jets to recruit players. They have they have all the stuff in the world to try and recruit these excellent athletes. And they recruit these kids to risk injury, to risk themselves for these coaches and for these schools to make money, because that's what their business is. They risk serious injury for a scholarship and for a coach without compensation. NBA coaches make less than their star players. And NBA star players are paid well. Obviously, they make well over. Steve Kerr makes $5 million a year. Kevin Durant makes $30. So why should Zion make $0? Well, Coach K makes $9 when people go and watch Zion versus Coach K. And when college coach gets a bonus for when he wins a championship, he gets a thick check. And then the players get sent back to their colleges, and they go back to their dorm rooms, and they go back to the 40-hour week grind. And now Eric will tell you about the causes.
So the causes really feed into the problems in this situation. The NCAA will present themselves as this organization or this umbrella for all student athletes to be able to compete and have organized events in order to hone their skills and eventually go pro for some of them. However, that's not how it works. It's more like a business. As Nicholas touched on, there's recruiting, the best teams just get better, and that's why college sports are always so one-sided. The big thing is when they did sign that deal with CBS to turn 13 years into $11 billion, they only air games 3 weekends of the year for March Madness. That is $276,923,076 per weekend they air games. That doesn't include advertising, endorsements, anything like that. And that is straight pocketed towards the NCAA. Players will receive none of it. They also do receive some of the scholarships if they're good enough. But for others that aren't quite good enough, go to smaller schools such as here, they don't get those opportunities like that. And it's hard for players like that because not only that, there can be promising players that suffer career-ending injuries or head injuries. And for the rest of their life, if they don't go to the pro sport they want, they don't make any money. So they suffer these injuries with nothing to show for it besides memories and, obviously their team. According to Colin Cowherd from the ESPN show The Herd, the SEC made $527 million just last year. Now all the schools divide that up, and obviously they're paid just, depending on how big the school, winnings, all that. He said, I changed my stance after recently hearing this because it's ridiculous how these players put in more time than the average student, and on top of that add on weights, practice, all this other stuff, but get nothing in return. They spend most of their days and sacrifice social life and academics in order to play sports and be involved. Now, one of the big things that people say is, well, there's no binding contract. There's no guarantee they get this money. There's no way all they sign is a letter of intent, which basically adheres them to the NCAA rules. Those rules are ridiculous because they don't allow these players to get what they deserve for their hard-earned work. They use their likenesses, they sell memorabilia, they wear Nike, Adidas, all these different brands, but yet they don't get anything for supporting these brands, even though they're the biggest names in sports. It's impossible to say that college athletes don't deserve anything. They do deserve at least some of what this company makes. And with that, I throw it over to Carl for some of the solutions that we can have.
Thank you, Eric. So as you've heard the problems and the causes, and I'll talk about the solutions. The first of which is to allow student athletes to have endorsements. According to Michael Wilborn from ESPN, if someone is willing to give AJ Green $750 or $1,000 or even $2,500 for his Georgia Bulldogs jersey, fine and good. If one of his teammates, a tackle, can fetch only $50 for his jersey, then it'll be a good marketing lesson for both. Allowing students to go out into the private sector and to invest in their own self and their own name allows them to build up repertoire that will go further than just their college degree. It's an experience that it'll last a lifetime, but also allow them to make money on the side. This is especially beneficial for football players who can get endorsements from Adidas or Nike for their cleats, or for baseball players for bats and gloves. With this, student athletes will have something on the side, along with the scholarship that is provided from their university. This way, it divides the two and doesn't allow the university to pay directly to the students, but rather to keep their scholarships. The second solution is to create a players' union similar to what the NBA, MLB, and NBA have. With a players' union, they can facilitate this outreach into the private sector for brand deals, but also to convey the concerns that players have to the NCAA and remove the NCAA's business model that profits off of them. This way, NCAA can only make money off of deals that show off schools as a whole, but not rather than just a player. According to Madison Martinez from collegeexpress.com, students' names and images are used on products and in advertisements, among other things, so they should receive some of the profits. I think we all would agree that it would be unfair if someone used our name and our face to profit off ourselves and we see none of it. This is quite similar to what is happening in college sports today. And I'll throw it back to Eric.
So to wrap things up, we talked about some of the problems and causes that this brings up, and why student athletes should be able to earn some type of revenue, whether it's from endorsement deals, scholarships, or just their time they put in. We always hear that hard work pays off when you're a kid, but for a lot of these students it doesn't. They go and work and they don't get anything in return. This is why some system needs to be set up to allow these kids to be able to build towards their future and help them pay off some of this debt that they surmount.